Hello and welcome back to another Grand Cross Age of Titans video. In today's video, we are going to go over how to properly choose your specific tier that you want to go for. So if we really take a look at it, there are 6 different types of troops, and there's just a lot to break down. So let's go ahead and see what we can do here. So as you can tell right now, I am working on the last one for infantry. There is Archer, there is Calvary, there is Combat Engineer, and then we also do have the 2 types of special troops, which is the Steel Catapult or the Gold Catapult, and then we also have the Steel Bomber or the Golden Bombers. So let's go ahead and dive right into this. So it kind of depends on what route that you're going to take. For someone who's going to be spending a lot, you have a lot more of a variety. Someone who's going to be a free-to-play or a low spender, you're going to want to choose one troop type, like I have said in past videos, and really go ahead and focus in on that. At this point in time, we are, 22 days away from actually entering into our first KVK. I do not count Parallel World. It's not that it's not like a KVK style, but it's not KVK, if that makes sense. So with that being said, there are some tier types that have more heroes that go along with that tier compared to others. And I'm going to go ahead and get infantry out of the way right away, because it is not something that we've really seen a lot of work towards. There are very, very, very few commanders. One of them being Iris, and she is a complete Gemmer event. I believe she appeared once or twice, maybe 3 times. I'm actually not sure. I got her on the first run, so I never really paid attention. We also have Arthur here, who is infantry and attack. We have, where are you at, Claudia? We have Claudia here, who is an infantry and hunt commander. And then, as always, there are a couple uniques that could be used for infantry. I know a lot of people use Jeanette for different reasons. I've always kind of stuck her as infantry. In fact, I had her primary to Iris for quite some time, and I finally just switched that over. I don't particularly see anyone really focusing in on infantry as much as the other tiers. As of this point in time, although I'm sure that they are going to introduce new commanders every couple months, I definitely would not go for infantry right now as a low spender or a free-to-play. If you're spending a little bit in the game and you want something that you can throw on the flag and it's going to do very well, Iris is definitely a commander that you will want to work. She's used in a lot of different scenarios, and she's just awesome at defending a flag, although there are some absolutely broken rallies that will just demolish this, and that's totally okay. Game is young. It's been a lot of fun figuring out all this stuff. So Iris is definitely one of the better ones that you want to go for, paired with Erdell, obviously. So that kind of covers infantry. And then let's go ahead and go into something a little bit different. And I'm going to go ahead and combine archers with the bombers, because in this game, in order to unlock bombers, you need to unlock the tier 4 Guardian, which will get you to the Steel Bombers, and then of course you need to unlock the Royal Sniper in order to finish all the tiers out into the Golden Bomber. Bombers are another super overpowered troop that is just absolutely killer out in the open field. So let's go ahead and talk about this a little bit. So like I said, you need to unlock the Golden Archer in order to unlock the Golden Bomber, which will be located over here in the Archer Special Soldier Workshop. And as you can tell, you do need to use those trained archers in order to train Golden Bombers. So it is a little bit more work, but even at tier 4 level, bombers are still absolutely incredible. And as you can see, I can use tools down here in the bottom. That is something a little bit different. I don't always do that, but it is something that I am going to be gunning for here as quickly as tonight if I haven't missed it already, which I think I did. So let's go ahead and look at all of the commanders that can be used for either archers or bombers. So first off, we have Malabi. She's up here at the top. She's an absolute beast at the support role, which you can see I put her behind a lot of different archer commanders just because she just excels, and one of her craziest stats is that she will boost the attack. Let me see where it is. So this one right here. So her active skill, it inflicts damage equal to 450% of attack on up to 5 enemy troops in a circular area, which is AoE. Then increases the basic attack damage dealt by 50% for 5 seconds for up to 5 allied troops within range. So you can buff, which is absolutely crazy. I use her a lot, especially with bombers or anything, because I just know that that little bit of extra damage really puts me ahead. And then just with the comparison in itself, whenever you have less troops on the field, you do more, or you do less damage, and you're more likely to take more damage just because of how the game is set up. Next, we have Bellar. He is paired a lot with Alicia. That march is absolutely incredible for bombers. We did test them for rallying with a couple different combinations. I'll get into that a little bit later. But I was not super impressed until we have one of the commanders that came out, which she may very well be a specialty commander, which is Lust. So a Lust and Belly Archer rally is amazing, especially as a counter rally. I'm not sure if everyone's going to be able to obtain Lust at this point. As they said, it was kind of like a special event because we did do a crossover event with the Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood show, manga, whatever it is. And obviously I did awaken her, but she's absolutely incredible for archers. Another one of the specialty heroes was Riza. I put Riza with Malabi as of right now, just because I did want to split up some of the stuff, and she's just amazing on another level as well, especially when I'm swarming all of the rallies themselves. Of course, we have Alicia. She is incredibly powerful with Belly. Not one of my favorite commanders in the game, but at this point I'm working her just because it's at that point where I'm kind of running out of stuff to do. Alicia is just amazing, and you definitely need to have her in a lineup, especially with me being BIP 16 at this point. She's viable in rally, she's viable in open field, counter rallies. The only thing that I haven't seen her do yet is any sort of garrison, but that makes sense because she does have the attack portion here. If we move on, Ivan is used a lot in the bomber marches, and once again, just another very powerful and incredible commander. Of course, we have Finn, who is super fast. We have Hiei, which was used for rallying or counter rallying at a certain point in time. Also very strong on city rallies, which is kind of surprising, but that's okay. Next, we have Helena, used more or less in the Demon Extermination, not a lot in rallies or any combos that I am aware of. We have Jang, who is kind of a little bit weaker of a Malabi. Not a bad support commander at all. Honestly, I'm very surprised at how amazing the uniques are in the game. We have Heimosu, which is good. If you don't have... archers aren't particularly used in garrison or anything, but if you're focusing on an archer main, not a bad idea to put Heimosu in your city. I have not tested this yet, so do not take my word for it, but that is just my guess, solely based off of her being stationed. We have... let me just keep going through here. Katachi. I've seen a lot of really, really good praise coming from Katachi. I don't particularly use him or her at all, but players are saying that they're super powerful as a secondary to some of these stronger primary commanders. So, going through all of that, obviously, I will say archers and bombers are an amazing spot for a free-to-play player to go for. If you really take a look at it, you can get Malabi from daily, and you are also able to get her for VIP. So if you're just wanting to spend, little, you can always go into here and do Malabi for the Awaken, or not the Awaken Hero, for the daily discount. It is $5 a day. You're also able to work Belly. He comes through the Grand Summon event, so that is a little bit more expensive. But all of the other unique commanders that come with this are absolutely amazing, along with Alicia here. She is going to be one of the MGE style events where you're gonna I don't think we have anything like that coming up. We do not. But you're gonna fight your own server for it, and I think it's like top 15 you can summon her. I think you get the time sculptures at 15, and then at 16 you get 5. So not super hard to obtain. Mana stones are very easy to obtain in this game, luckily. So that is one of the biggest things. I definitely would recommend going for archers after seeing all of this stuff progress at this point in time. Next, we're going to move to one of my favorite tiers in all across all games. I'm currently working on going for a full Calvary Rise of Kingdoms account. I do play that game as well. But let's take a look in Grand Cross. So right off the bat, you have Sekhmet. This is definitely a paid for hero. So as you can tell, you have to be up to VIP 10 in order to finish her, and she does not come in any of the dailies or anything of the sort like that. So you do have to spend for Sekhmet. They are a VIP commander. Same thing with Erdal. Next, you have Agnes, which is just such a tank with rallies. As I go through this list, Agnes is going to be one of the top heroes that you're going to want to go for in this game. Next to Biam. Biam is an absolute disaster, especially in the early game, and even now we're still doing, Biam and Agnes rallies, stuff like that. Biam and anyone is just incredible in the Calvary tier. I don't think we've really found very many weak marchers in the early game. I was using Biam and Sekhmet in order to rally cities, and that worked out very, very well, but at the same time, everyone was a little bit more in a weaker state. Next, we're going to have Rena. Rena is, oh my gosh, just such a broken hero. It is incredible. She's good at every single thing. You can use her to defend your city. Flags, you can use her to rally. You can use her in the open field. Definitely an investment worth taking. Next, we're going to have Numa. Everyone has slept on Numa for such a long time, and we're going to put that to rest right now. If you awaken Biam and you awaken Numa, you're going to have probably the second or the third strongest rally in the game. At this point in time, at whatever time I'm recording and uploading this, you're going to want to work Numa. I did not. I made the mistake of not going for her, but some of our other Tier 5 players did, and especially in Parallel World 1, before some of the Full Metal Alchemist commander or heroes came out in the game, Numa and Biam, with Numa being the secondary, was one of the strongest rallies next to using Agnes. We're going to have Isaac here. Isaac is going to be very, very good as a secondary commander. He's going to make your marches super tanky. At the same time, he's also good at defending your city and defending flags if you do not have Rena. Rena is obviously an upgraded version of Isaac in my opinion, but Isaac is still a very, very, very strong commander to have on deck. Again, we're going to have Roy. He's from the Full Metal Alchemist. I'm 100% unsure what type of availability these guys are going to have, but Roy is an upgraded Isaac, but a little bit weaker than Rena. But Roy fills his own stuff to where he's also super strong. Throwing Roy and Isaac together is an absolute amazing combination, as tested by some of my alliance mates, but at the same time it could prove wrong in different scenarios. We're going to have Galahad. Galahad is going to be very, very good at killing gatherers. In Parallel World, KVK, some players may not know, and they might start farming in Zone 3. You're just going to go ahead and smash them with Galahad. Not a problem at all. Let's go ahead and go to Valkyrie. I do not use Valkyrie for anything in this game other than to clear some of the towers. She's going to be super strong in the towers, and I believe you're actually going to get a buff from her. Still 100% worth it, especially for the legendary portion for the lead skill, where you're going to be able to heal lightly wounded troops in a selected area by 500%. Next, we're going to have Bellar. I actually used Bellar in the open field for quite some time, and so until I ended up working a lot more of my legendary commanders and became the whale that I am currently. God knows how I got here. But definitely a decent commander to use. There's no problem there. Even her lead skill is pretty decent. She's also very good in towers. I know some players will use Bellar mixed with some of their legendaries in either the primary or secondary spot. Definitely a pretty darn good choice. Holy mackerel. Honestly, I love Calvary. I love all these. I love all the tiers besides Infantry. I don't feel like Infantry gets enough love. Lost my mouse for a second. Now we're going to go to the most broken tier troop in the game. Okay? Why this works as well as it does, I don't know, but everyone's helped on it besides some of the players. So I'm going to make this known right now that these rallies that got sent to us were absolutely nasty and devastating. So I'm going to give a massive shout out to 22 and 49 for sending these at us and absolutely just making me really, really, really mad. Nothing against these players. It's in the game. It's broken. It is amazing. It was a really good learning lesson. Combat engineers are one of the most infuriating and best rallies in the game currently. Why? I don't know. In my opinion, combat engineers are meant to be farmers, but that is not the case. Now, if you are at this current point in time, this is what we consider to be the meta, the best thing that you can possibly do currently. So, if you happen to get the full metal alchemist and you went for envy and you have Freya, put Freya secondary and envy primary and send combat engineers, and everyone is going to be mad. For whatever reason, these glitch in a rally, and there isn't really any sort of counter to them at this point in time, but it is still absolutely incredible what these can do. I do know that we do have... Where's Ramses at? There's Ramses. Combat engineer for station, but at the same time, he... I don't really know a lot. Maybe some of those who've worked combat engineer more than I have will actually know, but that is the best rally combination right now, is Envy and Freya. It is just crazy. Envy is fully broken with every single one of his skill sets, and it absolutely wrecked us in Parallel World. Hats off to every single player that used this, figured it out. I don't know why y'all want for combat engineers, but it is a very, very good learning experience. And the better thing is, it was tier 4 and tier 1. It really hurt Ardell and Iris, which is one of the best garrisons that we know of in the game. People say that Roy and Agnes were a counter to it, but it also kind of looked like Roy and Agnes got wrecked. We don't know. But specifically for combat engineers, I would definitely let some of your rally leads go for them and encourage it. It is also very hard to obtain Season 2 Mana Stones at this current point in time, to where there is 5 that you can purchase here and 10 here, so 15 a week. But it's also super, super, super expensive unless you're really summoning a lot, where in my scenario, I'm practically in save mode, getting ready for KVK 1, where we are going to be getting some new unique commanders and legendary commanders. So typically I would go ahead and sell all this, and I would typically sell all this. But I'm just saving everything at this current point in time. We never know what's going to happen. So overall, infantry, I would let your, the whales go for Iris, because you're going to need Erdell to pair with her. Archers, bombers, and then cavalry. I recommend every single tier player to go and at least get one march of each. Whether you decide to work Alicia, or you decide to work, Malabi, or you want to work Alicia and Belly, that is fine. Just get one of each, and you are going to have a super strong march on the field. Combat engineers, it's going to be super expensive, and all these were specialty commanders that we were able to pull. So if you look, each one of these commanders costed right around $800 to $900 to max out. That is just what it was. I'm getting close with Riza at this point. Obviously, I did Lust. That was a little bit of an expensive event, but if it does come back, or if the newer worlds are going to be able to get this, I definitely recommend going for, Lust, Roy, and Envy at this current point in time. Edward, I didn't really see much praise on him, but will he be worth it? I'm not even sure at this point. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. If you have anything to add, any comments, please leave them down below. I love reading them. And, of course, I will catch you on the next one. Please consider liking, subscribing, and I will catch you on the next one. Peace out.